Good morning, people. It is Saturday, December 22nd, and I was called to do a video this morning about setting up two-factor authentication from the universe. Basically, the concept of two-factor authentication in the tech world is that if you log into a website like Facebook, you can have Facebook send you a text message with a verification code that you enter when you're logging in to really know it's you that's signing into Facebook. So this idea, came from me from when I'm asking for guidance from the universe, or I'm getting an intuitive knowing of how to handle a certain situation or how synchronicity arises in my life. From a young age, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and that changed into a bipolar type 2 diagnosis with schizoaffective traits, which means that I was hearing voices a lot, especially in moments of psychosis. So when I started to realize that I had abilities, that I was very intuitive, and that these voices may not be this illness, it was very tough to trust 100% that it was my guidance, because I had this old programming that was given to me from such a young age that these voices, these things I was hearing were not real. They were my illness. So when I started to do this journey, and I was coming across certain, synchronicity, I would ask the universe, please show me in a way and communicate it to me in a way that I'll understand, that I know it's the universe and it's not this, this illness, as I was still on the path of trying to figure out, do I suffer from this diagnosis, or am I just extremely intuitive? So the example that came about was I was about to leave a place I was living at recently, and I had just gotten off the streets. So I had acquired some material possessions, and synchronicity, my intuition, the universe was telling me, you need to let go of some of these material items that are no longer serving you, so you can usher in things that are a vibrational match for where you're going to be at in this move. It was very hard to trust that knowing from the get-go, because I had just come from an extreme place of lack on the streets, being homeless, not having a lot. I finally acquired some things, and a lot of these things that I possessed were childhood items, memories, books, things like that I didn't want to let go of. And I had a very difficult time letting go of those things and trusting that it would be provided to me on my journey, that whatever I removed would be replaced. So in meditation, I set the intention of, please show me in a way that I would understand, in a language that I would trust, that this is all true. So I went on a little bit of a vision quest, that I'll do these things where I will put my headphones in, listen to music, and just go on a walk. And, it's kind of a mindfulness walk, just kind of be present in the moment, stay grounded, observe my scenery, and enjoy the day, get into a state of gratitude. So while I was walking, I saw a crow feather that had the quill pointed towards me. And that to me is usually a sign that that feather was put into my path for me, as a sign or a message. So I picked up this crow feather. Probably 30 seconds later, there was another crow feather, and I picked it up. I thanked the universe for providing these things to me. I was rolling them in my fingers, kind of enjoying the moment. My intuition told me, it's time to let go of these things. The universe provided them, but they no longer serve you. You don't need them anymore. So I thank the universe for putting these things in my path, and I threw them away. And as I'm walking 30 seconds later, in succession, I run into two gray feathers now. So they changed from black to gray with quills pointed towards me, and I picked them up. I thanked the universe for the confirmation. I played with them for a few minutes, held them, and then I got this intuitive knowing, this little message to let them go. They no longer serve me. I didn't need them. So I thank the universe once again for the confirmation. I let them go. And a few minutes later, two white feathers with the quills pointed towards me, and I picked them up, and the same thing happened. So what I took from this was that this was the answer that I was looking for. It wasn't it wasn't a voice. It wasn't this big booming thing, but it was in a communication that I would understand. And basically, I started out with the black feathers, and then it went to gray feathers, and then to white feathers. And as I took that, it was that when I released on this ascension process, that whatever was a vibrational match for me, especially in ascension, it would come back to me, and it would be serving me at the frequency I'm holding within. And going from dark to light, I took that as a raise in frequency as far as where I'm at on my journey. And that was the confirmation that whether it be materialistic, relationships, programming, old ideas, old belief systems, old patterns of behavior, that if I released it, it would usher in something new that would hold me with where I'm at. And I started to realize that Corey has a plate, and this plate has certain portions sectioned out for different spiritual food, whether that be relationships, materialistic items, belief structures, so on and so forth. And when it comes to things like relationships, for instance, I always had a very ride or die mentality with my friends that, I would never let go of you, I would never leave your side. But when I started to ascend very fast, and a lot of us were propelled into this very, very quick ascension over this last year, and I know for me, I ascended very quickly. And when my vibration is going up that fast, I'm having to shed extremely quickly and let go of, friends and things like that I had for a very long time, that we did a lot for one another, for where I was at in that moment. But I needed to let go of them to usher in my soul tribe, and to usher in people that are a match, that are holding a match with where I'm at. And what I realized is that these portions are kind of all set up on Corey's plate. And if this portion of, and let's just use the example of relationships, if my portion size on my plate is filled as far as to the friends that I can serve and that are serving me at that point in time, and I'm ascending very fast and I'm calling in my soul tribe and I'm calling in people that resonate with me with where I'm at, if I don't clear that space on that plate, there's no room for those people to enter, so they'll never enter. And it's very hard, especially when a lot of us will experience extreme loneliness on this journey, to have faith that if we let go, that the universe will provide in the time when we need it. Not when we want it, but when we need it. And that's the key point here, is when we need it. And the universe thinks we're ready for that. So I ask that if you are like me, where you're just not, you're starting to hone in on your intuition more, and to trust that what you're hearing and what you're guided to do is the right thing, ask the universe to communicate it to you in a way that you would understand, in a way that you'll get it. Because sometimes the message will come across extremely clear, but it's very hard to trust at times. I found it was very, very hard at certain times to trust certain things, because logically my 3D mind couldn't make sense of, like, why, if I have these things in my life, why would I just remove them? But there was a reason. There was change that needed to come about. There was 555s, that were popping up that I needed to listen to. So ask for a way to be communicated into a way that you'll understand. Set the intention, and the universe will get the message across in any way, shape, or form it can. Sometimes it will be very blunt. It will explode in your face, and it's things that if you're not getting the message in subtle ways, the universe will do what it can to remove those things from your life. Sometimes you don't release them, they get cut out, and it's a very nasty situation. I found that too, that if there are people or things that are no longer serving me and I need to cut them out, but I don't cut them out in my time, the universe is going to cut them out for me, and sometimes it's painful. And it's hard to explain to people on this journey, like, hey, you just don't resonate with where I'm at right now. Like, I'm trying to get into the 5th dimension and you're not there, and I need to go, hold weight to bring you guys up with me and bring you up to speed. It's hard, but we have to learn to let go and to trust that if these people, and I'm speaking on relationships now, and because this is where I found this happening, is that when they are a vibrational match and it's meant for them to come back into your life, they will come back. And it's hard to sever those ties, especially if they're people you genuinely care about. And I've had to do that a lot recently. I had to cut out a relationship that I didn't want to, but it wasn't serving me anymore. And I knew intuitively from the get-go it wasn't going to serve me. But I grew to fall in love with this person, and the universe cut them out of my life. And it was painful, and it still sucks. But, trusting the universe and trusting God and trusting source, whatever you want to put your label it is as, because it's all the same energy. Trusting that sometimes is very difficult, especially when our logical mind can't make sense of it. And that's when we have to learn to shut off the ego, shut off our pride, which is hard. It's very hard for me to do, and we have to trust and know that there's a reason, and it will be provided for us when we need it. And the things that we're going to usher in are going to be not only a vibrational match for us, but they're the right lessons we need in order to grow and to evolve are going to be there. So anyway, I just want to make that message about setting up two-factor authentication with the universe. I hope you guys got something out of that. I'm still very new with creating these videos, but I like to tell my story and hope it resonates with someone, and it'll help them out. I'm not big on telling people what to do. You need to do this, you need to do that, because I'm very anti-establishment and I don't like to listen to people. I've been that way my entire life. So if someone tells me you need to do this and you need to do that, I throw them a big middle finger and I never do it. So the way I like to share and to help is by sharing my story, and hopefully people get a little something out of it that will help them out on their journey. So anyway, thank you guys, and that's all I've got for today. I hope you have a happy weekend. Have a happy full moon tonight. Release those things that are no longer serving you to bring in a beautiful new year, and to take full advantage of this new portal that just opened up. So anyway, love you guys. Hope you have a great weekend, and see you on the other side.